up, and Clockwork, who has that huge initiation range as well with the hook shot.
Yeah, global potential is definitely there. The question is, how do you lane this? Because Storm Spirit not exactly one of the stronger laners in the mid lane, especially up against the likes of Leshrac or Queen of Pain. So we seen yesterday when Era picked it, he played it in the safe lane, I believe. So that is a possibility. And obviously, Storm Spirit, one of the better heroes to take down stacks early on with his Overload as well as Remnant. And once you kind of get the mid-game rolling, he's very difficult to stop. And the last thing that Storm has going for them is, how are they going to stop the Storm from zipping around? They have Rubik as a lift. And that's pretty much it.
Pretty much, they need the Rubik pretty much to set up anything else that's gonna contain him. But I mean, as we would keep saying, the Axe and the Puck, two heroes that would be able to offer that extra bit of lockdown. But it's gonna be interesting to see what both teams decide to ban out finally. NiP, they're looking to take away another core. Still, that partner with the Eye is going to be the Chaos Knight, and I think that's a good call there. And indeed, Alliance, they'll take away the Axe.
Yep.
And the question is, do they go for the Jonas and Fan Puck here as the final pick, or is there anything else you feel could work very nice in a solo lane situation against Alliance's draft?
One of the benefits of having Puck in your draft is that even in the off lane, he's a little bit difficult to kill because he has 2 escape spell with Phase as well as Orb. But none of that actually does well against Bane Nightmare.
Yeah.
Once he Nightmares you, you're kind of stuck there. It allows Alliance to kind of dance around you, pull you in with the Storm. So I think Puck is a great hero if it survives to the laning stage, and I'm not sure whether he will. I mean, it's the same thing as the Phoenix last pick. The Phoenix would have been great if he was fine in the laning stage, and he wasn't, right? He got lifted by the Rubik multiple times. Yeah. He got a very late Midas in that game. So, Spearbreaker. Okay, so that's a lockdown hero. You can technically Storm Ball away from his ultimate, but at least it's a very beefy hero in the front line that will give Rubik and Bane a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. So that was to do here with the Spearbreaker. It's the Playmaker, and
oh, there we go.
It's the loader last stealer.
There we go.
We saw the stats. He's got an incredible win rate with the hero. One of his most played in competitive, and it's going to come out in this game against NiP. Now, what do you think about the life stealer? It's a very situational pick. It has the potential to be kited. Why do you feel Alliance have felt that this game is the game for the loader life stealer?
Well, there's multiple vehicles to bring him in. The relocate being one of them. He could hide inside the Storm. He could hide inside the Clockwork. He's a very beefy hero in the front line, which gives Rubik and Ancient Apparition a ton of trouble. I feel for Steel Kid right now, because not only is he going to be chucking out a lot of gold for wards, he has absolutely no way to deal with a Life Stealer or a Storm or a Clockwork for that matter to jump on top of him. So I personally really favor Alliance's draft, but again, it goes back to the laning. Can the Storm survive against Lesher mid? Because that's a really big lane disadvantage.
Indeed, and we've seen Limp with some pretty impressive performances, but at the same time, of course, Pycat, he's an absolute beast in the mid lane. So let's see what happens as we get ourselves into the first game of this best of 3, Alliance versus Ninjas in Pajamas, and we can expect some very, very exciting things to happen here today, as this matchup is certainly going to be a close one, looking at how the teams have both performed so far. And here we go into the game and into the lanes. Let's have a look who have we got on who. On the side of NiP is going to be Jonas and Fan on his solo lane Spiritbreaker. It will be both Hanskin and Seal Kids on the Rubik and AA supports respectively. Limp's going to be on that core Leshrac, and finally, of course, Era on the Gyrocopter. Our Modi picks are going to be joined here by Luminous and Lumi. What are we seeing from Alliance this match?
Well, the TI3 champions will play Admiral Bulldog on that Clockwork. So far on the safe lane, we'll see if he actually stays there. Ake on the Wisp, saving all of his 625 gold, going for the quick bottle. Effing Man playing Bane once again. Hopefully, this will be a better game for him. Of course, the Storm Spirit for Pycat, and last but not least, a hero that we don't see too often anymore, the Lifestealer on Loda. I mean, back in the days of TI3, this was a very scary hero. And I think he'll be a very scary hero this game for all the reasons that we mentioned earlier. Once he gets into the center of the fight, he will be a terror to behold.
Absolutely. And NiP actually here with this very aggressive movement into the Radiant jungle. They're going to wrap around towards the mid lane. So if they can catch anyone out, they might find the high ground jump here onto Ake. Ake's got to be very careful. And he kind of senses something out, and yeah, they're going to be fine here. They've already popped down this ward, so they know exactly what NiP are up to. And And NiP aren't gonna catch them out today, as okay, keeping the distance here. He's not gonna head up there anytime soon. And NiP will get themselves the bottom room almost certainly, and Alliance will just simply secure themselves the top. But I think, as you said, it's gonna be a lot of it's kind of gonna ride on this mid lane, just to see how well the Storm can do against the Lesh. And as you're mentioning, in terms of kind of hero matchup, it's quite a hard one for the Storm Spirit, at least in the kind of through the early levels.
Well, it seems like Wisp is gonna help him out a little bit in that particular lane. Not only will he try to heal him by the actual bottle, he also will be double stacking for him, evident by the tree cutting that he did earlier.
Seeing that, look, Seal Kid and Hanskin, they want to look for a bit of action here. Maybe going to see if they can do anything. Just problem down the sentry, but of course they've already they de-warded the one observer that Alliance had already popped out. So Alliance, they're not entirely aware of it. They're going to sense something though, maybe in Pycat. Keeping himself back. Ake is going to be there to back up Pycat. So, yeah, they're not going to find anything with this rotation, and the support's going to move elsewhere. In terms of the lane matchups, as you were saying, it is going to be Bulldog on the solo safe lane, dealing with the Gyro. So NiP decide to go aggressive to avoid the aggressive tri-lane of Alliance. Did you feel this is the best move from them in terms of lanes?
Well, it seems like that's what they're preferring, at least so far today, because they've gone aggressive 2 times now. I think the laning has always gone okay for Alliance. And I think partially it's because how they choose to play. Offensive is fine in this case. I think Clockwork will find okay.
Look at Pycat mid! He's going incredibly low, and that's going to be your first blood there for Limp. Taking down the Storm Spirit. You said it was going to be a hard lane, and even with the support of the Io, not able to do enough there to regen the Storm up when the aggression comes in from the combination of the Rubik and the Leshrac.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he got his bottle then when the aggression started. And the trouble continues to happen for Pycat.
You look at the bashes here. Jonathan fan, he's looking for some action onto Mad. He's going to need a couple more bashes, and it doesn't look like he's going to find them today. He has the charge, but he's not going to want to go aggressive whilst Loader is hammering around in the lane as well. But all in all, strong start there for NiP in the mid lane, and it's going to make it very hard for the Storm to recover from that one.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to Viper's game earlier from Pycat, where he got ganked repeatedly and he just could not recover. Storm is one of those heroes that can recover a little bit if you give him the jungle stack, but he's not getting them. At least one of them is blocked.
And we're seeing him back up, trying to find the other one. Io just been given the lane to find some levels, and Pycat just playing it safe here, looking for that XP. And top lane, Spirit Breaker, just kind of trading hits again with Mad as he moves in and out. Loader trying to wrap around here, and he's going to try and go for this one. There is, of course, a charge available from Jonas and Fan, so he's not going to be in too much trouble here. Just going to trade hits and force Loader back off. I mean, in terms of the solo laners, it looks like they're both finding something at the moment. Spirit Breaker is finding a bit from the safe lane, and so is Bulldog as well here on this Clockwork down bottom. Yeah,
I think right now NiP should be focusing on the bottom lane because that's the lane of hope for Alliance. Because once Clockwork gets level 6, there's a lot of pressure on Admiral Bulldog to salvage this game. He's the only one that could do it by getting these rotations and ganks in. Wisp, not a ganking hero. Bane is okay if his allies can help him out, but his allies are not having a good time, particularly the Storm.
No, not at all. Indeed, I mean, it's very evident on the CS as well. I mean, look at it. The difference between Lesh and Storm. 17 for 11 on Limp compared to the 5 for 0 on Pycat. That's massive to have at this point, just 3 minutes into the game. And he was thinking about the split earth there. He's not going to follow through with that one. Pycat's going to be okay. And Pycat's just got to be so careful as well with Hanskin on the Rubik just hanging around the mid lane, trying to make the Pycat's life a nightmare at the moment.
Yeah. But, I mean, Alliance walking into this game, drafting this lineup, they knew this was going to happen.
Okay.
I guess the question is how confident they are playing from behind. And honestly, they've been playing from behind for all the games today. So we'll see if it goes a little bit better for them.
Indeed, I think, as you said, it's all going to be down to the Bulldog Clockwork, really. Once he hits 6, how he's able to kind of turn the tides of these lanes. Hanskin just going in very aggressively, getting some deep vision down into the Radiant's jungle.
This is actually pretty big because if they see Storm jungling with low health, and he tends to get very low health because he tanks stacks, there can be a Spirit Breaker that charges in and get a kill on him. Particularly if he's low mana or not at level 6.
Loda's actually on his own here, and Jonathan fan, he's looking for their bashes, and if he can find another one, he's going to be able to go very aggressive here as Loda. He's been left alone as Bane's actually kind of rotated towards the mid lane. Maybe it was seeing if he could find anything any kind of positive action, but that's not going to be the case now. Lodo, maybe trying to make something happen himself here with the rage. He's going on to Jonas and Fan. It's kind of a 1v1, and Jonas and Fan, he's bit off a bit more than he can chew. And Alliance, they'll be able to get themselves onto the kill board here, bringing themselves to 1-1 in this game.
In the jungle, Emerald Bulldog finds Ancient Apparition, and he does have the battery assault. Thankfully for him, it's only a level 1 assault. Is he going to actually lift him up? That's the question. The Cog's going to come in. Here comes the Wisp as well. He tossed him out of the Cog, but looks like Ancient Apparition will go down. Hanskin in a little bit of trouble as well. Stormstreet joining in, but here comes the Shrek. He gets a stun on Pycat. Pycat a lot of trouble. The charge giving a little bit of vision. No, the big cow's coming in. He's going to tog on to the Wisp. The Wisp is also going to die. And the early game woes continue for Alliance as NiP is running all over them.
Era just cleans up a 3rd kill after the back of that team fight as he takes down Bulldog, and that was a massive fight for NiP, just destroying Alliance on their own half of the map.
Well, Alliance knew that they were going to fall behind in the early game, but I don't think they expected to fall this behind.
I mean, just look at the CS difference as well. I mean, you look at your 2 position ones, 30/11 compared to the 20/9, and the mid laners, 28 for 18 against 13 for 0. The lanes, they've just crumbled for Alliance, and the rotations as well, they've just favored NiP so far, 5.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, the only silver lining that Alliance have is they've kind of, quote-unquote, kept the Spirit Breaker down a little bit. With that said, he's just charging across the map without any worry.
Yeah.
Here we go, he's coming to the bottom lane.
This should be good for the Spirit Breaker. As you said, haven't been having the greatest of time, but now he's going to be involved in a kill. As Era's just going in with the Rocket Barrage. Animal Border pops out of the cogs. It's not going to be able to do anything in return. There's just no damage to bring down the side of NiP, and they're going to be able to walk themselves back to safety. And I mean, you get 5 for 2. NiP, they've got to be incredibly happy with how this game's kind of started off here.
Yeah, it's really good for the Ancient Apparition.
Oh, and now they've cliffed Mad. Mad's been sent out. He's got a CP away here. They're not going to be able to cancel this one, but causing a little bit of an annoyance there for the Bang.
Yeah, he actually TP'd to the tier 1 mid, but for 60 seconds, NiP knows that there is no TP support from the Bane. And that's pretty big to know because he's actually one of the better counter gankers, putting somebody in Nightmare under the tower. Right now, Alliance just want to hold on for their level 6s. Pycat's got it, so maybe he could be a little bit of assistance. And of course, Clockwork being the most important one. He's 5.5, but that last half level is going to take a long time.
Some stacks actually being made in the dire jungle, and well, Pycat might be able to clean that up for himself here as he's going to head up there, trying to stack this one again. And if he's able to clear this one, maybe even with the help of Loader, that's going to be a lot of tasty XP and gold here for the side, which he really needs.
Is he going to clear it though? I don't know. He's dropping so low from this.
Certainly is a risky play, and we're talking about risky plays. Bulldog, he's going to walk into both Jonas and Fan and Hansken here in the Radiant jungle. Now with the telekinesis moving him on his... he's trapped by his own cogs. There's going to be the backup of back air Mad though, so it looks like Elias might have to turn this. Jonas and Fan's going to get the charge off, and he's going to leave Hansken, who could be in a lot of trouble as Loader's trying to move in. No! Yes, he's able to rage just in time, avoiding the split up. Now with the open moves onto Hansken, they should be able to find the Rubik, and they will do indeed there as Lifestealer takes down Hansken.
Very important kill for Alliance. With that said, it was like a 4-man rotation, and they only got a support for it. Meanwhile, Storm Spirit up top, dropping real low, and that stack is still alive. So if NiP finds a stack and cleans it up, that could be big for them. I think the big pickup for NiP is that level 6 of Spirit Breaker will be coming soon.
Radiant jungle, what's going on? It's just Loader. Yeah, he's not going to want to go for that one. Seal Kid and Era both hanging about. He does have Ake around as well, and so how's Ake doing in terms of levels 8 minutes in? He's still sitting halfway through level 3, so quite a while to go for that relocate. But as you said, there's going to be that position of the game where Alliance come online in terms of global, and all mid lane, actually the telekinesis and split off combo, they're being messed up a bit, as Bulldog's actually not going to get caught out by that one, and that's going to allow him to get himself away nice and safely. But yeah, once you've got your hook shots, your relocates, and there's a few levels onto the Storm, that's kind of when Alliance's lineup really comes online.
Yeah, we'll see if it's going to come online though. I think he finally cleaned up that stack, now level 7.5. The thing about Storm Spirit is that, sure, you could get level 7, but you still need a lot of gold and a lot of experience before you become a huge, scary Storm Spirit.
Look, there's a charge on Bulldog here. They're going to go for this. Well, Alliance, they want to look for some action for themselves. Era does get the cooldown off, and now he's trying to turn this one around here. Pycat isn't going to be able to zip in deep enough to get that one, and it looks like the rest of NiP just forcing back Admiral Bulldog, now forcing out TPs. Loader's going to try and do something here, but he's not able to get off the rage before the telekinesis, and Hansken just buying the team time to get themselves away from that Lifestealer. And maybe even going for more, as Limpy's got a haste rune, looks for the split off, he will find it. But Loda's there with the defense. Fade Bolt, bring it Bulldog low, but it's not quite enough. Now the charge coming through, catching Loda, but it's going to be cancelled. Jonas Fan does want to follow through because now he realizes he might be in trouble. Map rotating in with the brain sap, and they'll bring down the Spirit Breaker there. The rotations from Alliance just catching out NiP.
Well, it seems like both of these teams heard what Illidan was saying, go fight early, but I'm not sure if NiP want to fight under a tier 1 tower where anybody from Alliance could have TP'd in and turned that gank around. Critical thing is that Clockwork is now level 6. Let's see what those first couple ganks are going to do for them.
Hanskin, he's just coming, he's scouting out this. I mean, Pycat is finding a fair bit here in the jungle. You know, we've seen him clearing out the camps both sides of the map, but it's quite a difference in terms of net worth between himself and Limp on the Leshrac, about 1.5 at the moment. And Ake coming in just to top Pycat back up. And 10 minutes in, I mean, kind of looking at the both sides, do you feel that NiP at this moment are going to be happier with going into fights than Alliance? So Alliance still kind of not ready to go toe-to-toe with NiP?
I think Alliance is sort of ready now, with ball lightning as well as hookshot available. I think NiP has done an excellent job in terms of slowing Alliance down. I think this is where you slow down a little bit, farm your key item. Leshrac wants to finish his Bloodstone, and I imagine that Gyrocopter wants to get a fairly early Blacking Bar this game. There's going to be a lot of people jumping on top of him, and he will need that magical immunity. It looks like he's going to begin with the Helmet Dominator just for a little bit of more farming.
Okay, and that's so it lives to them. Loda's going to go straight up for that arm. That of course has the gloves of haste down the recipe, working its way towards it. Nearly got enough for that helm, and lines are being drawn towards the top lane. Looks like Alliance do want to go for something here. As you said, they've got the hook shot, they've got the capabilities to jump in and smoking forward.
Oh, the Delusion tanking the gank. That's huge. You got to keep in mind that it's a 5-man rotation for Alliance up top. Of course, the warding for NiP really helped out. There was a deep jungle. There was 2 deep jungle wards. Nobody was stacking.
Might still find something here. I mean, they found a Fiend's Grip onto Sealkid, and Sealkid, even though they're aware of that gank coming in, they're still going to find a nice tasty kill there as Bane cleans up the Ancient Apparition.
Nicely done by Alliance. Meanwhile, the rest of the team for NiP, though, is farming away.
Yeah, that's true. The bottom lane, Jonathan found finding a fair bit of levels, and mid lane, Limp continuing to keep himself at the top of that net worth board, working towards that Bloodstone with the point booster online and coming up to 1k gold on top of it as well.
I gotta say, Alliance has been playing very impressively for the past 5 or 6 minutes, because you gotta keep in mind the game at one point was 2-5 in favor of NiP, and you know, Pycat got first blooded, their jungle was warded. Now the score is 5-5 and they're ready to fight, but hold that thought, because here comes a big charge from the Spirit Breaker.
Oh, they're going to cancel that one, yeah. They'd only had the Rubik there as well to help out, and aware that Alliance were in the nearby neighborhood. Bottom lane, Clockwork was about. Hasn't got the hook shot back online there, still waiting for it to come off cooldown, but it must have been close. Yeah, now, yeah, it is there and waiting and available now. And top lane, we might see something kick off here as they're getting very close to both Era and of course the AA. And Pycat's got an invis rune here, maybe looking to try and set something up. He's going to head into the dire jungle. He's not going to find anyone here though, as
he doesn't have much mana. Like, even if he runs into a support, I'm not sure if he could solo him. He is kind of swinging around to the mid lane though.
Maybe with the help of who else? So it's just the IO and the Bane in the mid lane. Hanskin might be the target here. Is Pycat just trying to line something up? Is he going to go for this one?
Well, the charge meanwhile is going up top, and that's charging through a ward. Loda a little bit, but no, actually, Jonathan cancels the charge.
And still Pycat. There we go. He's going to throw it out. No, yeah, there's cheeky not enough to follow it. Yeah, just trying to make the most of the invis. Just getting a punch through. But still 5-5. Both teams being very careful about the fights that they look to take now.
So from the nature of Alliance's draft, they're really good at picking people off, and in fact picking multiple people off, because they're great at chasing as well. The problem is they're not really good at knocking down towers. We don't see the Leshrac, for example. We don't see a Nature's Prophet, which they would love to have. Meanwhile, when NiP gets kills, they're great at clearing Creep Wave, and with Diabolic Edict, they could knock down these T1s with relative ease. So I think Alliance, despite the game being a lot more even now, they have pretty big hill to climb.
And we'll see what they're able to do. Ake, he's closing in on that level 6. He's going to have it fairly shortly. And Loda, yeah, going in with the armlet and the rage onto Silky. But the bashes, of course, from Jonas Van holding him back. Mad. The brain cell will finish off the A. And now with the Feast Grow onto Jonas Van, they're looking for more. They do have Ake about here. Loda will just heal himself back up there. And we won't be able to find anything else. And now it's going to be Alliance that are on the retreat. NiP, they're all moving in. They're going to be able to find the slow there as Limp gets the Lightning Storm down. Can they find anything else onto Loda? No, he's just a little bit too speedy there with the help of Ake. And it is just going to be that one clean kill onto the AA. And Alliance losing nothing in return there.
Yeah, Alliance also gaining a lot of farm time for Pycat, who has been unmolested for the past 5 minutes or so, being able to walk across the map, farming all the jungle camps, and he is slowly and steadily getting to his Orchid.
Bulldog, he wants to find a hook shot here, potentially Seal Kid. He's all alone, and there we go with the hook shot initiation. Ake coming in as well to help out with the spirits, bringing Seal Kid low and bringing him down. Era's TP'd in now. He has got backup coming in the form of Jonas and Fan, and they might be able to find Bulldog here with the charge. No, it's actually going to stop it here as he gets held back, and it's going to be another strike that still follows through. Bring it, Bulldog low, but here we go. Ake keeping the clock wave alive. Bulldog's going to get out. Pycat's going to be able to ball lightning away, and again, Alliance, will they be able to get away with this one? Pycat with the TP, he gets out. There's no damage, nothing to stop it. And Ake, this is why you ban out the IO against Alliance.
Yeah, Bulldog runs away with less than 50 health. It was the battery assault that actually canceled the charge, so very lucky for Admiral Bulldog, although it's a max battery assault and it's going to be pinging out a lot of the mini suns. So great play by Alliance, and it was a pretty deep dive, right? They're between T1 and T2, but they still made it out. Meanwhile, if you look at effing Matt, he's almost like Glimmer Cape. This is a support that generally don't get a ton of farm, but because he's 2-0 and 2, having Glimmer Cape against Call Down, as well as Leshrack's AoE spells, that's huge. That's absolutely huge. It makes Lifestealer, it makes Storm so much more difficult to kill.
I mean, yeah, even just against heroes like the Spirit Break, rely on the magical damage from the bash, it's going to be very hard for NiP to play around, and it's certainly something else that they're going to have to worry about.
I gotta say, this is only the first game I've seen a Spirit Breaker that's not bashing non-stop. Like, this is actually a 17% bash, right? Like, all the top lane exchanges, Spirit Breaker wasn't even bashing at all.
Ooh, Pycat, he's ready to go for some action here as Loader infests into him. He's heading towards the top lane. Will he be able to catch anyone out at the moment? It is the AA that's out there, but they don't have any lane vision here behind the tower.
Seal Kid. This is going to happen over and over again.
I think he just came in range there with the flying vision for the Remnant. And the question is, does Pycat go for this one? Seal Kid, he's not going to stick around this tier when he senses something up. And it doesn't look like Pycat's going to catch anyone out here with Loader today.
Yeah, this is going to be where vision and deep warding is going to be important. Clockwork is going to provide that vision. The deep wards will allow relocate to happen. And speaking of relocate, Ake has got level 6, I think for a little bit while now, but we still haven't seen that first relocate yet.
Indeed, I mean 8-5 at the moment. They haven't really needed to go for it. And NiP, they're playing very grouped up at the moment. Talking about now exactly, they've got 5 heroes towards the mid lane, and it's just going to be Limp trying to get the push on here, but now Bulldog moving in with the Glimmer Cape provided by Bad. Will drop the cogs, and he's going to be able to trap up Hansken here. Hansken trying to turn around with the telekinesis, but Pycat's coming from the back line. Loaded there as well with the open wings on Terra. Era's going to look to TP out. The Fiend's Grip holding Limp down. They'll find the ledge, and now Jonas and Van getting caught up by the hook shot from Bulldog. They're looking for more lights. The Glimmer Cape, the relocate. They keep Bulldog alive. It's a double kill for Pycat. 3 heroes dropping on NiP. Era's trying to move in here. Now with the chilling touch, can they find anything in return? No, Matt's going to be able to get himself out of range. Loader keeps himself up and alive. And again, Alliance just taking the fight and losing nothing to the side of NiP.
You can see why Glimmer Case is such an excellent item, allowing Clockwork to initiate into the barrage of all these AoE spells and just kind of shrug it off. In fact, he even hooked in at half HP, eating Ice Blast on the way. Alliance wins a huge fight, gets a tower deny on the mid lane as well. And not only that, Clockwork, previous to that fight, already had Blaymail finish. If you look at what Blaymail can do against Leshrack, against the Gyrocopter, both of these heroes have difficulty controlling their damage output. They just kind of throw it all out, splat it on the table, and they're going to have a lot of it returned to them, especially before they finish their BKBs. Yeah,
I mean, just looking at Pyke, he's coming up to the Orchid, and he's recovered so well as well. He's only about 1.6k behind Limp on that Leshrack. I mean, this is the one thing for the side of NiP. In terms of farm, they're still looking very good. I mean, Era's on 7k. He's just under 1,000 ahead of Loader. But in terms of the old kind of team net gain, there's a slight advantage, and here we go. Pycat looking for the solo pickoffs. He's going to bring Hansken low, and it's actually going to be the Illusions just finishing off the Rubik there with the right click. And again, Pycat, his recovery's been remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about how the NiP cores are farming well, but I think the recurring problem for NiP is that their supports, unfortunately, are not bottom lane. You're charging onto effing Man, and as well as a strike going onto effing Man. He will go down here unless Glimmer Cape helps. No, Glimmer Cape's still on cooldown. Very needed kill there against Alliance.
Indeed, but at the same time, though, Alliance, they're applying the pressure here onto the mid lane. NiP, they're going to start to move towards that. Maybe they can do something against it.
Bottom lane, Loda going right on the Spirit Breaker, who's forced to charge out.
And is he charging onto just towards the mid lane here? Doesn't look like they can use this to fight into. But it's still 12-6 at the moment, but it's still a very close game. The fact that NiP, they've been using the space a little bit more than Alliance in terms of farming, and Lesh, she's still up there at the top, Limp at the moment on 8.2k, and Era still very much keeping himself in the game. Bulldog has got the hook shot here, though, on the high ground. And Alliance, do they want to try and find his Hanskin?
No.
Don't walk up there, son. Oh, they actually, the Conk's going to be popped down. Looks like Alliance, they don't want to try and fight into that one. And they're not going to jump onto Hanskin. Maybe aware that NiP, they do have the full force behind him. And just feeling not confident enough to take that fight, at least without Mad and without Loader, who are still down on the bottom lane looking for the push.
Yeah, also, I don't think they have vision onto who was walking up from the low ground. So they don't want to face the wrath of perhaps a call down, as well as lightning storms and whatnot. But Alliance happy to play the game a little bit slow now. They know that the pickoffs are going to be available throughout the game. Storm as well as Clockwork is going to get solo kills on Rubik and Ancient Apparition. So, I mean, like I was mentioning earlier, I think this is where NiP has big trouble. Their supports are just not keeping up. The cores are picking them off too easily.
Yeah.
It looks like that's a Radiance finish. And when I say Radiance finish, sorry, I meant Midas.
And that was a very smart move as well here from the side of Alliance. That smoke up by the tier 2 was signaled out straight away by Mad on the map. So they were aware that NiP were looking for something, and it was exactly right. He also drew on the Radiant jungle as well, warning Alliance to be careful. And then Alliance, they're going to smoke up themselves, and maybe look to counter into that. The question is, who gets the jump here? It's going to be Loader going with Bulldog onto Era. Limp's going to be able to find the stun from Mad, bring him down. Bulldog's going to drop as well, and this is looking good for the side of NiP if they can keep this one up. Jonas, in fact, in as well with the bashes. It's a 3-for-1. Could they bring down Loader here as well? He has got the backup of Ake, but there's 3 members on the side of NiP looking for him. The split up will catch Ake, but he gets the relocate cast out. He'll be able to save Loader, and he is going to be able to keep himself alive as well by the looks of it. The charge from Jonas and Fan is going to head towards the top lane, but straight away the TP's back to base as Ake and Loader are able to get themselves out of what was a pretty bad fight there for Alliance, losing 3 heroes and only bringing down Era on the gyrocopter.
Well, that was a great fight for NiP, and they slowed down the Clockwork, they slowed down the Storm Spirit, and you can see in this particular game, BKB is going to be the item choice for a lot of these heroes. The only reason that Lifestealer was able to survive was because he raged throughout most of that. So I imagine that most of these heroes are going to start rushing for that item. I guess Storm, you could make the argument that he's going to just dance around the team fight, but it feels like this could be a BKB Storm game as well.
I mean, Limp now, he's picked up the 4 staff, he's managed to get himself the 9 Bloodstone charges as well, and still just rocketing ahead in terms of value. The Leshrac is going to be very, very scary in these engagements until, as you said, more BKBs come online for the side of Alliance. But
he's actually gone for 4 staff first, which...
Yeah, I guess just because of the Clockwork this game.
Against the Clockwork, or if your ally gets gripped and he's facing towards you, you just push him away, out of harm's way for a little bit. I feel that Glimmer Cape would also be a very good choice for Limp to pick up as well. I think a lot of Leshraks like to pick up the Glimmer Cape. It's going to be great for himself, and more importantly, it's going to be great for his allies as well. Speaking of which, NiP is ancienting away.
Indeed, they've got the stacks up here for Era. Going to keep him getting that gold in back. Picks up an Ogre Club at the moment on top of that Yasha and Helm. So he's going to be able to pack a fair bit of a punch here in these fights when they kick off. And he's been doing pretty well so far. He's only died the once, a couple of kills, 3 assists onto the gyrocopter. And now the question is, do Alliance try and look for a fight here? Loader, he's up here on the mid lane, starting to just clear out the creep wave and get the push on. And Maddie's going to Glimmer Cape, and is he going to go in for this one? It's just going to take the bounty rune there.
Better be safe than sorry. Gotta Glimmer before you walk in. I think Alliance's game plan, they're not looking to barrel 5-man down mid.
Look at Loader. Look how deep he is. He's right into the jungle here. They don't have any dire vision, though. They've just got the sentries popped down. Still.
Yeah, I think Alliance, all they're looking for is random picks. And here we go. He's going to try to get a pick here against Hanskin, but it's very close to that T2 tower. Hanskin steals Rage, which is actually not the worst spell for him to have.
Jonas and Fan, right, towards Bulldog. He's going to cancel it. Limp. He finds the slow onto both Ake and Loader, now being forced into position. Will he be able to find anything else to follow? The cooldown won't connect as Ake and Loader are speedy enough to get themselves out of that potential fight.
Yeah, Alliance, all they want to do is gank and farm. I don't think they're looking to push unless a lot of NiP is dead. Also, we are approaching to a stage where Roshan is fairly open to both teams, but neither team really have insane damage output for Roshan.
Do they want to fight this NiP now again? They're going to cancel it.
Into a grip.
Oh, this is not great for Jonas and Fan. He caught up by Pycat as well with the Orchid. The soulbound damage is all too much. Pycat there able to turn that one around and bringing down the Spirit Breaker. And again, I've got it. This Pike has 9.5k gold. He's now just 1,000 behind the Leshrac. Pycat, his mid game's been pretty insane. He's got 2.7k gold in the bank on top of the Orchid.
Yeah. By the way, Hanskin was so close getting hooked, but there was a ghost lady in the way. That's why the Bulldog could not slay him. That ghost lady actually was a big part of him surviving.
Well, Invisarune who's going to grab this one. It's just going to be bottled up now. They're going to give it to Lifestealer here. Now the loader, can he find anything with this one? There was the... okay, so yeah, NiP know that he's got it. And they're just sticking together here, making sure that no one gets solo picked off in their own jungle. But, well, 14-9 at the moment. And, well, Lumi, this game still could go either way very easily.
Yeah, I mean, having NiP versus Alliance, two of the, I guess, less aggressive team in this particular tournament, like to drag the games a little bit longer. Looks like Emerald Bulldog should be fine from this gank. He has Force Staff and Blade Mail. The question is, who do you feel has the advantage going into the late game based on hero potential alone, as well as based on how this game's going so far?
It's a trick. I mean, I kind of feel NiP, you know, with the fact that they've got the gyro, there's always going to be that point where he's just going to be able to turn into the fight and dish so much damage out. But I certainly feel there's going to be a point at the game before NiP reach their peak that Alliance are going to be incredibly strong with the Lifestealer combination, with the Storm, with Pycat zip-zapping about. And Pycat, has he spent his money yet? So, okay, so he's brought up the Soul Booster, so he's going to go back for that Bloodstone after the Orchid. And now Alliance, they're going to smoke up now themselves, and they're ready to go on the aggressive here. Are they going to be able to find anyone? They're going to move towards the Ancients, and that is exactly where they are if they go to the right. No, they're going to wrap round towards the mid. No, Mad. He's making the pings. Are they going to be able to catch them out here, though? They're all off the map, NiP. They didn't have any kind of vision Alliance this deep, so just this Observer Ward in the dire jungle, which will now spot out some of them, and they're going to see Hanskin here as well. Pycat, he's going to make a beeline straight for Silkin. Silkin blows up. Now with the Orchid onto Jonas and Fan, they're going to look for Emerald Bulldogs. He's got in onto Era. There's going to be the Fiend's Grip onto Era as well. Alliance, they're bringing Jonas and Fan out down low. He's going to be able to get the charge onto Mad. They have been able to get the cooldown out. Hanskin getting low. Bulldog chasing him down with the right clicks. They'll pick him. Era will find a return kill onto Bulldog, but it's a 3-for-1. Limbs turned up to the fight, but he's all alone. The buybacks are coming out from NiP, but they just can't get there in time, or can they? Era turns up a Loader. He's already brought down the room because a triple kill for Loader as he gets out as well. Now the charge flying through. There's going to be an art blast also. Loader's just going to come back and fight. Rages up and now, okay. Fight will continue as Loader takes down Spirit Breaker. It's an ultra kill. Now it goes for Era on the gyrocopter. Can he do this one with the help of Pycat? Can they find the gyro? Era getting low. He's out of mana though, Pycat. He can't stick around for this fight. He's got to get himself out of here. And the question is whether the NiP can find the kill of the Storm Spirit. They're moving forward. Has he got any hope of getting out of this one? He pops the charges. He's got a little bit of a zip. Oh! And now Bulldog with the hooks from downtown finds himself another kill. They're controlling Bulldog. He's able to force out himself away. Pycat moving forward here with the Glimmer Cap, but no, that's going to be it. What a fight there between the two sides. That was insane.
Okay, I gotta hit show 5 recap, but that thing is not helping you out because the fight lasted so long. I gotta say there was 2 to 3 buyback coming out from NiP, and all it gave was a ultra kill on the side of a Lifestealer. I don't think he died at the end, right? He was able to walk away, or did he? No, he's 6-0-6. Yeah. He's not dead. Yeah,
he did not die.
Yeah, and now he has the Basher. Now Loda still has the problem of being kited. The only reason he was able to get all these kills because NiP was fighting into him. And now with the Basher, he's gonna start able to kind of keep everybody locked down, even through Gyrocopter's BKB, which, by the way, just got picked up. The BKB would have been absolutely huge for NiP if it was able to activate it in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, the fair few buybacks coming out still, though, net worth-wise. NiP, they're keeping themselves toe-to-toe. How's the graph looking? How's that fight kicked in? Oh, it is, and it's not looking pretty for NiP Alliance. They're moving up to just over a 5k lead. It's not a massive lead 28 minutes in, but it's the biggest lead we've seen so far this game, and certainly Alliance's first chance there to begin to break away from NiP.
Yeah, if you look at the net worth of all the heroes in their respective roles, they're keeping it very close at the top, but Clockwork has a sizable lead for Alliance, and so does the Alliance supports. And hold that thought, because Alliance is going to make another play.
Yeah, and with this deep Radiant Vision Ward, they've got the Vision Limit. Oh, Bulldog finding the blind hook shot onto Limit. Now with the Orchid following up. The relocate coming in, bringing Loader into the fight. The Bash is holding the Leshy in place. Pycat will clean that one up, and that's going to be another kill there for the side of Alliance, bringing down the Leshy at the moment. Pretty much is one of the biggest issues. He's top of the file, and they might find Jonas and Fan as well, cancelling the TP there with the Vortex. He's going to look for the charge, so they're trying to find him, but they can't stop the charge. Now with the Ice Blast flying through, maybe end up to turn this. Era Leshrac coming in with a cooldown. Bulldog's going to get
Glimmer kick.
picked up. It's just too good. He gets himself out, cocks a pop. NiP can't chase it down, and Bulldog keeps himself alive thanks to Mad there with the plays on the Bane.
Item for 2. Well, hold that thought, because Loda now comes in. He activates the drum. He's the race car build. Hanskin will just hide in the trees and walk away. Hanskin, by the way, has been saving for that blink dagger for the last 5 minutes or so. He's up to like 1,900, 2,000 gold, but he just keeps dying.
Fan. He's trying to TP out. Oh, he's going to make it just in time as Mad comes around the corner. Very close escape.
I think maybe it's time for Rubik to give up that blink and just go for Force Staff. It's an item that could keep himself alive, keep his allies alive. And honestly, I think he needs the extra mana as well, but looks like he's going to keep going for the Blink Dagger. He also had bought back in the previous fight. NiP is really in big trouble now. Again, Leshrac is doing fine, although by the way, he didn't get the chance to suicide in either of these fights. And Gyrocopter is doing fine, but the rest of the team, again, they're really falling behind. And I just don't know where they're going to find the catch-up gold. All of them needs Force Staff, all of them want Skull Scepter, and I just don't think they will ever see it this game.
I mean, I kind of feel the best thing at the moment for NiP is to fight as a 5-man, as some of them are just getting caught out each time by the pick-off potential from Alliance. But at the same time, it's not out of the question for Alliance to take a full 5-on-5. We've seen them already do it this game. NiP, they've just got to try and find a jump, but at the moment, Alliance just keep coming out on top every time. As, well, it's just Alliance, just with their movements as well, they're just so aggressive and they don't need to stick up together. I mean, at the moment, you've just got Bulldog on his own on the top lane. Loda has got the backup of the rest of his team, and they just don't seem scared of NiP.
They shouldn't be, because the only form of initiation that NiP has is just a charge, which is pretty much telegraphed across the map if you see him anywhere throughout that charge path. Whereas if you look at Alliance's initiation, it's either fairly instantaneous from Storm or Clockwork, or it could be covered in a wide distance from the relay K from Ake. So right now, Alliance pretty much have the majority of the map to work with. But I really like the fact that they're just really focusing on the lane, focusing on the farming, and they're not going for the Roshan. I think trying to Rosh against NiP and you're going to either call down, Ice Blast, into pit, that's how they could lose. I'm glad they're focusing on the lane and farming instead.
I mean, for Pycat now, do you feel him? Does he need to go for BKB after the Bloodstone? Is that kind of the dream item pickup for the Storm that's going to make it pretty much impossible for NiP to continue in the fights, or do you feel he can go for something even more aggressive?
I said Bloodstone earlier, I said BKB earlier because there was just so much magic damage on the side of NiP.
Yeah.
But he was able to go through the most dangerous stage for a Storm, and came out ahead quite beautifully. So now he's doing the easy part. Now he gets to pick off supports, and honestly, I don't think he needs a BKB, but if he wants to be ultra safe, BKB is the item to go for.
There's going to be a charge down onto Pycat. NiP, they are in the nearby. Can they do anything about this one? He's going to get silenced up, and Pycat, just as what you want to run into me. We're going to try and turn this one around. Ice Blast will connect on the Storm Spirit, but Pycat, he's bringing out some fan though. He does realize this is the time to back out. Ake will TP out from the sidelines. But again, I mean, Jonas Fan tries to lead in, but he just takes the brunt of the damage from Pycat, and just again proving for NiP to be very hard to catch out these heroes from Alliance.
Yeah, that will continue to be the case until Spirit Breaker picks up his Black Game Bar, which, again, Spirit Breaker is not the best farming hero. I'm not sure where he's going to find that BKB.
He's got a bit of Midas, but he's got the Midas, that is going to help him in the long run pick up those items. And well, what else are we seeing from the side? Rubik is closing in on his Blink Dagger. Yeah. Now, we're talking about the kind of the initiation potential of the Spirit Breaker. If they can get a Blink on the Rubik as well, that's going to be massive for NiP, because they might be able to catch these heroes out. And now, maybe Bulldog, he might have overstayed his welcome. He's on his own. He's going to force himself away. He's still going to get bashed. They're going to have the Nether Strike to follow this one through here. And NiP, they're looking for kill. This is going to be a very tasty one if they can bring it down. They certainly can there. NiP catching out Bulldog, who just a little bit too far into enemy territory there.
Yeah, that's a pretty big kill. Knowing that Clockwork is dead for 50 seconds really opens the map up for NiP, especially for the supports. Not only that, Limp was hurting for the Bloodstone charges. He'll take that one for free.
Yeah, absolutely. And still the farm, both for Leshrac and Jaro, they're keeping themselves on par with Loda and Pycat.
And there's a blink on the Rubik. The great thing about the blink is, right now, NiP really lacks initiation. Again, the telegraph charge is going to do it alone. They really need a secondary initiator, and Rubik is that secondary initiator. It's a great initiator. Also against Lifestealer, you could just blink in and pop him up before he rages. and there is a chance that you could chain stun him to death.
And again, I've got to say these very deep wards side of the Radiant from Alliance, giving them a lot of info in the whereabouts of NiP. We keep seeing them move around this high ground point here. So Alliance, they're going to be able to gauge whether there's a situation to just jump straight in. And with the hook shot flying out as well, just trying to get a bit of deeper vision from the jungle. They're going to see if they can make a move onto this one. NiP, though, they are all grouped up towards the tier 2, and this could be a good fight for NiP if it kicks off. And here we go. NiP, they want to try and go on the aggressive themselves. We've seen Alliance do it a few times, but
the aggressive ward has spotted. Yeah. So Alliance, if they want to play it safe, they could just hide behind their towers. In fact,
they do it again. The counter smoke. They did this before when Mao was aware that NiP have done it, and they're going to try and find the counter jump. And Hansken, it's gone for the illusion though. Rage straight away from Luna, and now Hansken has got the stolen cogs. We're just going to help him out quite a bit this fight. But again, is he going to be able to help them find a kill? No, because Bulldog hookshotting in onto Rubik. Is he going to be able to steal the hookshot there, or is it the battery assault? No, he's got the hookshot solid. It doesn't matter. He's dead anyways. Pycat cleans up now with the Phoenix onto Lim. Looks like Elias going to try and take this fight. Pycat trying to bring down the AA. He'll find the AA. Eric's put the BKB, but loaded with the Basher. Going to work with the Gyrocopter. They'll bring down Gyro. They've already found 3 of them. They've only lost Bulldog on the side of Alliance, and Pycat, he's still got mana to look for more potentially. Albeit just a little bit. Jonas and Fanny's got the charge in a second to get himself out to another part of the map. Limp will be able to find the TP out, but now Pycat's hipping forward. He really wants to find the Spirit Breaker, who's having to dive deeper into enemy territory just to create the space. He's got the TP. They won't be able to cancel it. Jonas and Fan keeps himself alive, but again, a 3-for-1 trade there for Alliance.
Yeah, Alliance is able to initiate from so far away, and NiP just can't run. They need multiple Force Staff before they could take fights. I think that's all it comes down to. They just need to be able to run away from these fights. And what a great play from Pycat. He activated an illusion rune, sent an illusion storm up front, baited the initiation, and it was a big part of why they won that fight.
Well, here we go, Alliance.
Oh, they will find Pycat. Can they land the stun? They're chain stunning him right now, but he's actually going to be able to zip away. In fact, relocate it back out as well. I do believe Ake will be left behind as a peace offering.
Do they just leave Ake here? Is there any way they can try and fight back into this one? Let's see if they bring anyone back. They are going to bring Pycat back. They want to continue to fight into this one, but Ake, he's getting low and he will get taken down here. Pycat, he's going to be able to continue to fight this one because he picks up a BKB from the base before he returns to the fight, and that catches NiP off guard. Low getting low. Bulldog now with a hook shot onto Silken on the back of this fight, but it's looking good for NiP. They've actually found themselves a double kill here. Can they find anything more here? They're chasing down Mad. They're going to find the bait as well. 3 kills there from the side of NiP, and indeed blinking for Hansken. He's out of mana though. He can't get the controller to Bulldog, and now Pycat zipping back. He wants to try and turn this fight, takes down the Rubik there with the Orchid, and gets himself out of the split up. It's a point! Find Pycat charging forward. They'll bring down the storm. NiP take down 4.
And they're right next to the Roshan pit. NiP may not be out of this game yet. Diabolic Edict as well as Rocket Barrage doing work against this Roshan, but scouted out by Admiral Bulldog. Are there going to be any buyback plays? Relocates backing up in 8 seconds. I don't think Alliance will be giving the Roshan for free. They can relocate within the vicinity. Storm's back in 9, and of course, Lights live back in 15. Let's see if NiP, they see how low Leshrac is. He's completely out of mana. I don't think NiP could persist with this Roshan. In fact, they should not, and they'll back out.
Yeah, the relocate's coming in. Jonas Fanny's already charging away. They brought in Pycat. Pycat's going to be able to find Error here. Error getting trapped back into this one. He's got BKB in 4 seconds, but 4 seconds isn't going to be enough to keep himself alive. Error goes down. Pycat's in before, and he's going to find Silkin as well. This should be another kill for the side of Alliance. Silkin pops the charges. It's not enough. Double kill for Pycat. Hansken blinks forward. He gets the telekinesis onto Pycat as well. Now going to be able to hold in place, but he gets 4 stars back. Pycat's going to be able to get himself out again, and a buyback actually coming out from Error there, but I don't know what it's going to achieve here for the side of NiP as Alliance. They've backed out, and they're ready for round 2 if it kicks off.
Well, NiP is ready for round 2 as well. They have all teleported in. They have BKB on their Spirit Breaker now. They're charging in. They dust up on Mad. Can they actually bring him down? Question, but no. Hansken's the first one to drop. Golden Heroes are all popping up, and it's Pycat that's on the front line. He's almost out of mana, but he will use the last bit to zip back out. Call down misses on everybody. And with a BKB down, I'm not sure if NiP wants to fight right now. Johannes Fan in the middle of nowhere. He's caught out. He's getting mini-stun. Admiral Bulldog in the front line. So is Loda. Can he get the bash? Storm zips back in, and they will get the kill on the big back cow. Meanwhile, Limp's on the run. He's activating his post-Nova. I don't think he'll make it home. The Ice Blast misses cleanly. Storm Spirit again. He's such an annoying fire blue panda that's just zipping back in non-stop. How does he have so much mana? 13 charges on Bloodstone. And the Orchid is your answer.
Oh boy, and now with 3 heroes down on NiP, there's going to be a bit of space and time for Alliance to get on the aggressive here on the mid lane on this tier 2, but 39 minutes in, 32 for 18, a lot of action between these sides. And, well, the question is how big of a difference is it creating? And the answer is not that much. I mean, we're seeing about a 5k lead in terms of net worth for Alliance.
Look at the kill score, right? The kill score
is crazy. It's
14 kill ahead. Yeah, I mean, Alliance somehow unable to climb a lot further ahead. And you got to keep in mind it was, what, 4th, 5th buyback from NiP? A lot of that gold is also down the drain for them. So even though this is not a big gold lead, at least in the graph, it's a big gold lead in the items. And right now, Highcat, he's essentially unstoppable.
Yeah, now big pickups coming out from both sides. So we're going to see Ares manage to finish off the Manta Star, but Loda, he's got the AC. And in terms of these engagements, he's just going to be absolutely chipping away at the heroes and the structures as well. The push is going to be real. But NiP, now with the smoke up, they're going to head in towards the Radiant Jungle. Well, and of course that little rocket is not going to spark out anything. They want to find Loda, but there's the entire lineup of Alliance here, and I don't think they know it. This is going to be a very risky fight to take. This. Do they want to go for this one? They're going to get this spell from Pycat, pops the BKB. They want to fight this one. Era's going to get a very nice cooldown. Rage has been popped by Liddy. He's trying to go to work, and they've found the kill onto Rubik. Pycat coming around though, bringing Era low. Looks like Era won't be able to do that fight because it's a double kill for Pycat. Zilbid has brought down a fair few, but it's Pycat with a triple kill. He's just cleaning up, and now Ake, he brought back, he tethers into Pycat, trying to get in the mana to continue to fight. Loda does get taken down here by the bashes of Jonas and Van, but Pycat, he gets an ultra kill. Is this going to be a rampage? Live the last to go. No! The rampage denied by the Bloodstone suicide, but still Pycat there going crazy, going ham against NiP, and it's just too much, taking the entire team down.
The huge buyback from Wisp was,
giving them the mana.
Yeah, giving them the mana. He came in just Tether and then Bloodstone, giving Pycat the last bit of juice. And every time Pycat wins this fight, this is the war of Bloodstone, right? Where you have Leshrac losing Bloodstone charge and he gets a regen right now. So if he can hold that for the next Roche fight, or next fight in general, that would be huge. My question is, what is Pycat going to be going for the next item of choice? He could get more mana regen.
Yep.
I think Boost of Travel.
Scythe? Oh, yeah, Boost of Travel.
Boost of Travel, because he has so many Bloodstone charge, essentially he's playing with 2 life all the time. Scythe is an excellent choice, especially against so many BKB. You could hex them before they activate their BKBs. I mean, this is every Storm player dream of this game.
I certainly do, and I look at the BKB times as well. You've still got a fair bit on the Spirit Break. He's got 8 seconds, but I mean, Era's probably one of the most important. It is down to 6 seconds on his BKB, which isn't great when you're fighting up against heroes like Pycat, who are very going to be able to avoid fighting for 6 seconds and just come straight back in after the magic community's gone.
I think the key that NiP wants to look for on all of these fights is to target the Wisp first.
Okay.
He's obviously the squishiest one. He doesn't have any defensive item per se, and removing him removes the overcharge, the movement speed for the Lifestealer, removes the mana regen for the Storm. It's a high value target, but that sneaky little bugger, man, especially with Glimmer Cape, he's gonna be hard to find.
He certainly is, and well, Era and the gang just hanging back, looking for some more farm. There's going to be a Sanj coming out to Jonas and Fan as well, and I imagine that is going to be him looking for the Halberd, which is going to be very nice against heroes like the Lifesteal. You know, once the rage is off, going to be it's a nightmare to play against. I mean, we're not seeing, of course, Loda go for something like a BKB for that extra bit of magic immunity. So the Halberd is going to be big if Jonas and Fan can get that online soon, and it's going to be the Scythe that's been picked up there by the Storm. I mean, at this point, it's just a question of whether NiP want to try and fight or if they're happy just sitting back and farming. Pycat, he's been able to create quite a sizable lead in terms of farm between himself and them. Coming to about a 4,000 lead compared to the Leshrac. And I've got to say, this game, there's been a stand-up performances for a lot of heroes, but Pycat on this Storm, he's been an absolute nightmare for NiP.
I do want to talk about the Halberd a little bit more. Not only is it great against the Lifestealer, it's also great against Storm.
Yes.
You just put it on him, he can zip it all he wants, but he's not doing the attacking, which a lot of his damage is actually physical from right clicks. But is there any chance that it could be a silver edge? Because every time they jump on the Lifestealer, he's brought very, very low.
Upper Bulldog getting the hook shot onto Limp, but Hanske's going to be there with the telekinesis and forcing Limp out. Limp's going to be okay, but there's going to be a wrap around. Ake relocated in, but this is a bad relocate because he gets blown up. Pycat, though, he still might be able to rectify the fight. He brings down Hansken, but now the BKB's being popped by NiP. Hook shot for Bulldog, and then the Infest Bomb blowing up the Rubik and the here. Now Jonas and Fan getting taken down as well with the Fuse Grip holding him in place. They're just going to leave Matt to try and deal with that one. He should be able to finish off the Spirit Breaker. Alliance, they're actually looking for where they want to try and find Limp. Limp will be able to TP out from the sidelines, but still, 3 heroes being taken down on NLP and only losing the IO from Alliance.
Yeah, with all of these more and more fights being lost on the side of NiP, one has to question, are they in the correct mindset to look for these fights? Because it's like the 6 or 7 times they smoked out to look for these fights. Are they better off farming? I'm not sure, because when you're farming against this team, you're just so vulnerable to being picked off by a Storm, being picked off by Clockwork. So maybe the only choice is to fight into Alliance, but they're just winning these fights. And that was after a Wisp relocating in and essentially dying at the beginning of the fight too.
I mean, now they're going to look for Roshan here. If they give this to Pycat, which I imagine they will here, it's Ice Blast is coming through. I don't know if NRP can fight this one. There's still 30 seconds without Jonas and Fan, and Roshan falling incredibly fast.
Maybe they give it to Lifestealer, because Pycat essentially is immortal,
He pretty much is at this point. I mean, he's died 4 times this game, but he's been so active. 19 kills, 11 assists. I mean, Pycat, he's been making magic happen throughout this whole event.
Yeah, I'm happy that he has a game like this, because the first 2 games today, he's just got ganked non-stop. And he's got shut down.
Which he did this game as well. It's just he's recovered.
He's recovered, yeah. I think a big part of that was his his team creating a ton of room for him.
Yes. Yeah.
And now Alliance creating space as a team, going into the enemy jungle, knocking down T2s. So as NiP, I think this is where you start playing for the ultra high ground late game of a Divine Gyro.
Ooh.
But
one can only wish.
I mean. He's got Demon Edge. He's got 3,200 gold, right? I mean, I think he wanted to get MKB, but
you've got to go Rapier, surely.
Yeah, maybe this is where you feel like, all right, I got to go Rapier or bust.
That's the dream. That's the dream indeed. But they're looking to end the dream of NiP here. As the question is, do you feel Alliance are confident enough to go for the high ground yet? Are they ready at this stage, or are they kind of waiting for NiP to come out and maybe look for another fight that Alliance can capitalize on and turn around against them?
I think so, because if you look at what they got, they have Aegis on the Lifestealer, they have 3,000 gold on the Storm, so that basically means if he dies, he will respawn instantaneously with the Bloodstone, and he could just Breach of Travel right back in. So you're looking at 7 lives on Alliance, and honestly, I don't think NiP could chip 4 lives, or 3. So I think if Alliance plays it steadily, play it patiently, should be able to take down high ground. I think Lifestealer might just farm up for his Abyssal Blade, which he does have right now. So that's another item that NiP can't deal with.
Indeed, this is going to be the problem. If of course Era does decide to opt for the Rapier, the fact that they've got the hook shot, they've got the Storm Spirit as well, just to get the Lifestealer right next to the Gyro, so he can get that Abyssal Blade off every time, and it's going to be very hard for the side of NiP to keep Gyro alive in these fights.
Top lane, effing Mad is relocating, or sorry, he's gripping for the relocate, and Johannes Fan is dead.
Jonas and Fan getting taken down. It's a godlike streak for Pycat. And again, I mean, just going to show that NiP needs to be very careful when deciding to send out a hero that far from the base at this point.
They thought fine. They don't expect Bane self-initiating with Glimmer Cape. It's just not a play that you see a lot.
With the Spirit Breaker down for over 50 seconds, this could be the chance for Alliance to try and go for it, and it certainly looks like it will be. Loader heading up to the high ground onto the tier 3s. Well, Pycat just goes straight in, getting the Hex onto Limp. He was actually zipping past because he wanted to find the Rubik. He's going to turn around now and board a hook shot onto Limp. They'll bring down the Leshrac, and now Leshrac down 50 seconds. Will buy back for this one.
Divine is picked up.
Oh,
here we go.
Here we go, Divine Rapier. Let's see what Era can do with this one. He's turning up to the fight. Ice Blast coming through. It's going to connect onto Pycat here. But Eric just keeping himself safe, and it looks like they're going to have to let this set of racks at least go. Now Hans gets turned up, he's got the telekinesis onto Loader, there's a lot of damage coming out, but already Pycat is looking for Era, he's controlling him. Era pops the BKB, they want to try and turn it around, but Pycat with his own BKB means there's no way that Limp can control him, and they will back up. But now, of course, Alliance, they're going to know that the Rapier is on Era, and they're going to be ready for it next time.
Yeah, I think right now, let's see if there's any gold left on the side of the supports on NiP. Can they afford a 4-staff? Can they afford a Glimmer Cave? No. Everybody is just dirt poor. So that means priority number 1 is that Gyro. And like you said, there's about 5 ways for them to actually get in.
And They're really. Pycat now 6k gold. He's got money to burn. And, well, what's he going to pick? Is it going for the old Lincolns here? Was that? Yep. He's going to opt for the Lincolns here as well. So. Again, I mean, we talked about they've got the telekinesis and the charge really to initiate on someone like the Storm Spirit, but he's just going to be so hard to lock down now with a Lincolns on top of the BKB.
I think it used to be that you could cancel the Lincoln immediately upon casting charge, but now they've changed it such that the Spirit Breaker has to get to him. And I don't think Spirit Breaker is getting anywhere near that Storm Spirit.
Listen, Foul, what's he got? He's got the on top of the sand. He's found 1,300 gold. Maybe we'll see how they come out before the end of the game.
I think it is really cool for the Rubik to steal that spell until you realize, oh wait, I don't have any mono regen, so let me go back to base.
And there we go. So a couple of big pickups again coming out for Alliance. Bulldog with the BKB complete. Completed Lincolns and Alliance smoking up. Loader getting inside Pycat. They're going to look for the play here to try and, well, at least find another set of racks to even end it. They're going to go straight in onto Limp, pulling him in, bringing him down. Blade's been dropped as well, they'll find him. And now with the hook shot on Terra, this is massive for the side of Alliance.
No.
They'll bring Terra, the Rapier hits the deck. And now looking for Jonas and Fan as well. GG is called. It's too much. And Alliance taking game one against NiP looming.
Very impressive fashion. We got to keep in mind, Storm got first blooded, his jungle got warded, he didn't hit level 6 for the longest time, Clockwork had a tough lane on the bottom, but somehow Alliance made space in the map, farmed like 2 huge stacks of creeps, and the rest was the Pycat show.
It really was. I mean, just looking at the scoreboard at the end of that one, Pycat 23 for 4, 13 assists.